How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Getting Into It. I'm Mo, and today we're going to go over a new method of painting, which is an old method of painting, but because it's really popular on YouTube, I'm going to make a video about it. It's going around, it's trending. It's called Slapchop, Slapchop. Yeah, Slapchop. We'll go with that. And basically, all it is it's a Zenithal highlight, which you then put a speed paint on top of, which isn't anything new either, because Zenithal technically isn't new. It was just an underbase or an undercoat that you do before you put something on top of that as well. There's lots of content creators out there that have done this. They've shown videos. I don't know who the original video, probably going all the way back to the Undercoat. I know Dana Howell did one. I know that I think not Maniac Ninja did one. I think it's Miniature Hobbyist is one that coined Slapchop. It's just a weird name. There's one other content creator who's calling it Razzle Dazzle. But either way, it's a quick way to paint your minis once you have them prepped, which you're gonna have to do anyways. You're gonna have to prime anyways. You're gonna have to get them ready to paint anyways, and then you use speed paints to get them to a tabletop ready, I guess, level, right? We've got previous videos where I did more of a sun drop technique, and go check that video out. And I've also done a video where I did a full painting. I've got a video where I showed a marble technique. If you'd be interested in how I did that, maybe I'll do it in another game. Let me know down in the comments. But with that said, what we're painting today is Hulk here. This is from the Marvel Zombies game. I've got one that I've already painted. Make sure that my technique works before I show you guys. So let me go ahead and flip over the camera. I am using the top cam, so hopefully this works as good as when I use my cell phone, but we will see. Okay, so we are a little bit far away. Let's see how far we can get in before it starts getting a little too dark. Oh, that's 45. That's maximum zoom. So you can see here, so the way that I did this was I did a base coat in a red. Now you don't have to use red. Most people use black. I got a red primer because I want to use it for other purposes. The color doesn't matter. I think with this, I kind of like the red as well because I think it'll give it more of an earth tone type color, especially for the zombies. I think it'll work really well. Then you do a over the top spray of a mid-tone. In my case, I did a gray primer. And you just kind of go from the top, a little bit at the front, a little bit at the back, just so it catches the highlights. But then underneath, you can tell it is still the red color, right? And then the last step is actually doing a dry brush. So I took my bone white, which is my whitest white, and just liberally dry brushed to get all the raised edges, mainly on the top and the top portions, and trying to leave the bottom in the shadows. And the reason is you want to allow the contrast paints, which are semi-transparent, to be able to keep those shadows and the highlights as you dry brush them. So you can see here, this is the T'Challa. This is a Black Panther somewhere. There we go. So this is the Black Panther. So I already did him very quickly. Took just a couple minutes to knock this out. Brown, gray, black. Now, of course, I'm just doing the quick method. After this, you can do your extra things that you would normally do, like the highlights, like he's got the little bones around the top of his collar. I can highlight those, maybe do a little bit extra highlighting on the edges, things like that. But as a game piece, this is more than ready to play with. Now, one thing I do recommend if you are doing any type of speed paints, contrast paints, or even your normal acrylic paints, I found these little itty bitty guys on Amazon. There was about 200 of them. They had way more detail than I thought. And I went ahead and took all of the speed paint colors and I basically just colored them. So I just slapped the color on. Now this is a pure white. There's 200 of them, so technically if you want to do like a Zenithal, you want to do one on metallic, you want to do one on just different colors, just to see how the speed paints would react. Works really good. I just marked the bottom of the little guys. Somewhere. There we go. I just marked the bottom little guys, what color they are. So we're going to go ahead and paint this up. I don't know if I'll be speeding up the video or whether it'll be real time. You'll find out when you watch it. But it should not take me long. Now I am using probably too small of a brush for Hulk. I'm using kind of a tiny brush here, so I might speed it up. I should have got a little bit bigger brush, but you do want a couple different sizes. Make sure that you're using just a cheap synthetic brush. You don't want to use anything fancy with speed paints. They're very similar to washes, right? They'll damage a fancy brush. And then you drop in a couple drops and you start putting it on there. So it's not, you know, it's not, I should say not precise. It's not rocket science, right? You're just putting the color where the color needs to be. And if you want more highlights, you take some of it off. You want more shadows, you put more on. Some things to consider, of course, is with speed paints, and it's a benefit and a detriment at the same time, is the paint can reactivate. So if you make it wet, so that's good and bad, because of course you can use it and reactivate to remove some paint if there's too much, or at the same time you can accidentally reactivate it and removing paint that you didn't want to remove. Another benefit of the reactivation, of course, is if you get it somewhere that you don't want it, you can easily just remove the paint with a little bit of water, right? Get a wet brush and then just, you know, remove the paint. So I'm going to go ahead and continue painting this guy, and then I'll be back once this piece is done and show you guys the next color. Okay, so here we go. We got the first color done. It does take a little bit to dry, so of course you want to be a little bit careful when you're doing the painting. You see it's still a bit glossy, but you can see how on the areas that were lighter, of course, it's more, well, it's lighter, it's highlighted. And then in all of the deep in the crevices and stuff, it's a little bit darker. Similarly, of course, underneath, you're going to have a little bit darker color as well because of the darker spray paint. Now, of course, if you use black, it would be even darker. Mine, of course, is more that earthy tone because I use that reddish brown color. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of this. I will come back once it's done to show you guys the final result. I should have paid attention to the timer the first time, but looking at it now, and I will give you an overall time of how long it took me to paint this entire mini once we're done. All right, so we're back. So this is Hulk completed. So this is pretty much just a very quick, you know, speed paint technique. I think to finish him up, which was the pants and the base, it took me about 8 minutes. I'd imagine me doing his whole chest probably took about 8 minutes as well. So I'd say total time was 16 minutes, if that, 15, 16 minutes. Now, of course, this isn't complete. It's not where I normally would like my minis, you know, because normally we do a full paint. But this gets them to a state where maybe you'd feel more comfortable in being able to play them and they're fully painted. Or this just may be better than what you currently can do, but it's simple enough for you to at least get some paint on. Now, what I am going to probably still do is, of course, I will go ahead and use a fine detail brush with regular acrylics to do his eyes, his teeth, probably come in here and do something with his, stop focusing on these little guys over here. On his base, he has a radioactive symbol in there. My lighting is not the best for showing that. There's a little radioactive symbol down there on his base. So I'll probably, you know, paint that in with the yellow, maybe do these wires red or blue just so they pop a little bit more. But the rest of them I'm happy with, right? If I really wanted to, I could take a lighter green and do a quick dry brush to kind of highlight his muscles and stuff a little bit more. Same on his pants. If I wanted it to be a little bit less dark purple, I could, you know, same thing, dry brush some acrylic, regular acrylic purple on top of it. If you're afraid of the paints reactivating, quick coat of varnish, let the varnish dry, you'd be good to go. The last thing, of course, that you must do is, of course, do your black rim on your base. But there we go. That is Hulk ready to beat up on some zombies. All right. So if you'd like to see more how to paint videos, or at least quick little videos, I mean, I'm not a professional, I'm just trying to get these ready to play on the tabletop. Make sure you hit that subscribe and bell notification, that way you know when we go live, either on gameplay or upload a video like this one here. Also, if you want to have a chance of winning this copy of this game, make sure you definitely subscribe so you know when we announce that giveaway, because we will be giving away this painted copy to a lucky winner, thanks to Children's Miracle Network and Extra Life Charities. It's going to be probably our big giveaway at the end of the year. With that said, guys, appreciate you for staying and watching the video. Let me know down below what other type of painting techniques you'd like to see me try, and show you guys here on the channel. But until next time, guys, peace.